Attorney General Garland, let me just ask you, does your department have a problem with anti-Catholic bias?
Our department protects all religions and all ideologies. It does not have any bias against any religion of any kind.
Well, you could have surprised me, because given the resources that you are expending and the apparently intelligence assets that you are deploying against Catholics, it appears, and other people of faith, while simultaneously turning a blind eye while people are executed gang style in the streets of our cities, including in my home state, your answer frankly surprises me. Let's talk about the Mark Houck case, for example. You've been asked about this already today, and frankly, your answers really astound me. This is a case where a Catholic pro-life demonstrator, father, was accused of disorderly conduct in front of an abortion center. The local prosecutor, the Philadelphia district attorney, who is a Democrat, a liberal, very progressive, declined to prosecute. There was a private suit that got dismissed. And then after all of that, your Justice Department sent between 20 and 30 armed agents in the early morning hours to the Houck's private residence to arrest this guy after he had offered to turn himself in voluntarily. Here's the photo. Once again, you can see the long guns, you can see the ballistic shields, you can see that they're wearing bulletproof vests.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hang on, that doesn't look like Pam Bondi, and you're right. You just might be correct. But I want to take us back in time, as a matter of fact, and let's go back to the Biden administration era, because I don't want people to forget these things, just how bad the Biden administration absolutely was. And honestly, you know, Congress is on break. There's nothing really going on, so there's not a whole lot of new content to cover. So I figured, you know, might as well go ahead and take us back in time a little bit and, you know, hit that old time machine and let's review some old stuff, because I used to not do these, as a matter of fact. Many of you guys out there know that. So, but before we get into that, y'all do me a favor, smash that like button, share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here and you want to stay up to date with news and politics, because that's what we do, folks. My regular videos, we read news, we analyze the news, we fact check the news to make sure the news is not lying to us, because yeah, that's a problem these days, as a matter of fact. And it shouldn't be, but it is. And it shouldn't be. But y'all do that. Y'all click that join button. I would love you to death if you guys would do that. And without any further ado, let's get into it.
Why did the Justice Department do this? Why did you send 20 to 30 SWAT-style agents and a SWAT-style team to this guy's house when everybody else had declined to prosecute and he'd offered to turn himself in?
Determinations of how to make arrests under arrest warrants are made based by the tactical operators in the district. They are not.
But you surely looked into it by this point, right? You know the answer, surely.
All I know is what the FBI has said, which is that they made decisions on the ground as to what was safest and easiest. So you do not agree with your description of what happened on the scene.
You don't agree with my description. I'm pointing out what the photo is. There are agents here who have long guns and ballistic shields. Let's take a look at the hardened criminals that your Justice Department sent these armed agents to go terrorize on that morning. Here they are. Here they are at Mass. Here's the 7 children with Mr. Houck and his wife. In this early morning, they were all at home. Mrs. Houck has said repeatedly the children were screaming. They feared for their lives. You've got these agents demanding that he come out. They've got the guns, she said, pointing at the house and at them. He has offered to turn himself in. And this is who you go to terrorize. What's really interesting to me is this seems to directly contradict your own memorandum about the use of force at the Justice Department. You say officers may use only the force that is objectively reasonable to effectively control an incident. Are you telling me that in your opinion as Attorney General, it was objectively necessary to use 20 or 30 SWAT-style agents with long guns and ballistic shields for these people?
What I'm saying is that decisions about how to go about this were made on the ground by FBI agents.
So you're saying you don't know?
I'm saying what I just said.
Which is that you're abdicating responsibility?
I'm not abdicating
Then
responsibility.
give me the answer. Do you think, in your opinion, you are the Attorney General of the United States, you are in charge of the Justice Department, and yes, sir, you are responsible. So give me an answer.
The FBI does not agree with your description.
I'm not asking about the FBI. You are the Attorney General. Give me your answer. Do you think that it was objectively reasonable and they followed your guidelines in sending 20 to 30 armed agents to terrorize these people? Yes or no?
The facts I have, which are those presented by the FBI, are not consistent with your description.
So you think it was reasonable?
I'm saying the facts are not as you describe.
What, that the children weren't there? That there weren't long guns there? That there weren't agents? What do you dispute? What's the factual premise you dispute? Be
FBI
specific.
said they don't agree with your description of
Be specific. They don't agree with what?
of how many agents, of the agents who were there, and of what their roles were. They don't agree.
Do you know the
That's all I can
jury
say.
in this case acquitted Mr. Houck? As I'm sure you're aware. Do you know how long it took him?
I am aware, and we respect the decision of the jury.
Do you know how long it took him?
I don't know.
1 hour. 1 hour. Philadelphia District Attorney declines to prosecute. The private suit's dismissed. You use an unbelievable show of force with guns that I just note liberals usually decry. We're supposed to hate long guns and assault-style weapons. You're happy to deploy them against Catholics and innocent children. Happy to. And then you haul him into court and a jury acquits him in 1 hour. I just suggest to you that that is a disgraceful performance by your Justice Department and a disgraceful use of resources. I notice a pattern, though. The FBI field office in Richmond, on the 23rd of January of this year, issued a memorandum in which they advocated for, and I quote, the exploration of new avenues for tripwire and source development against traditionalist Catholics, it's their language, including those who favor the Latin Mass. Attorney General, are you cultivating sources and spies in Latin Mass parishes and other Catholic parishes around the country?
No, the Justice Department does not do that. It does not do investigations based on religion. I saw the document you have.
What did you do about it?
It's appalling. It's appalling. I'm in complete agreement with you. I understand that the FBI has withdrawn it, and it's now looking into how this could ever have happened.
How did it happen?
That's what they're looking into. But I'm totally in agreement with you. That document is appalling.
I'll tell you how it happened. This memorandum, which is supposed to be intelligent, cites extensively the Southern Poverty Law Center, which goes on to identify all of these different Catholics as being part of hate groups. Is this how the FBI, under your direction and leadership, is this how they do their intelligence work? They look at left-wing advocacy groups to target Catholics? Is this what's going on? I mean, clearly it is. How is this happening?
The FBI is not targeting Catholics, and as I've said, this is an inappropriate memorandum, and it doesn't reflect the methods that the FBI is supposed to be using. Should not be relying on any single organization without doing its own work.
Let me just ask you, as my time expires here, a very direct question. How many informants do you have in Catholic churches across America?
I don't know, and I don't believe we have any informants aimed at Catholic churches. We have a rule against investigations based on First Amendment activity, and Catholic churches are obviously First Amendment activity.
Well,
but I don't know the specific answer to your question.
You don't know the specifics of anything, it seems, but apparently on your watch, this Justice Department is targeting Catholics, targeting people of faith, specifically for their faith views. And Mr. Attorney General, I'll just say to you, it's a disgrace.
Oh, I love to see it, folks. I especially love to see it, especially when Democrats currently, they try to get out there and lambaste Donald Trump. Oh, he's weaponizing the federal government to going after his political opponents. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that was the entire existence of the Biden administration. That was just one instance right there. Talking about Mark Houck. That whole situation. This dude, literally, they had a far leftist extremist nut job in his face trying to attack his son. The dude shoves him. That's it. Didn't assault him like with his fist. Didn't punch him with his fist. None of that. Just shoved him to get him away from his son. And the local Soros-backed prosecutor declined to prosecute because there was nothing there. As a matter of fact, a year later, FBI shows up. SWAT team essentially shows up and busts this guy's door down after, like Hawley said, the dude said he would turn himself in because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets this notice by mail that he's going to be arrested for this. He needs to come in and answer some questions. Well, he's like, what in the hell's going on? So he tries to contact the Department of Justice. And what happens? Oh, sit and wait just for a minute. Click. FBI shows up a week later. Fascinating, don't you think? And like he was saying with the long guns and all that stuff, scaring shoving, protecting his son, essentially. And do you think that was an isolated incident? No, my friends, it was not an isolated incident. This, like I said, was the entire existence of the Biden administration. So I laugh at Democrats saying the Trump administration is trying to weaponize the federal government. Let's go back, because I want to focus in on one section of this. Well, as a matter of fact, two sections, but we got to do them one at a time, of course. Check this out.
Gents, what do you dispute? What's the factual premise you dispute? Be
FBI
specific.
said they don't agree with your description of...
Be specific. They don't agree with what?
Of how many agents, of the agents who were there, and of what their roles were. They don't agree.
So that was his answer when being pressed about this situation, just how unlawful this actually was, how in violation of the Constitution this actually was. Oh, well, they disagree with your assessment how many FBI agents were there when he said 20 agents. Oh, well, was there 19 or 18 or even 10? Do you think it matters how many were there if there was just 6? They had riot shields, for crying out loud, and long guns pointed at the house, screaming over a loudspeaker, "Come out of your house now, sir." Like, do you think it matters how many were there? No, it doesn't matter how many were there. Oh, we disagree with your characterization of what went down. Like, get the f*** out of here, man. This is all just nuts, y'all. Like, I remember watching these hearings because this was back when I watched a lot of these hearings. I didn't really react to a lot of these hearings. I didn't really go over them all that much. That's, like I said, I love doing this now because I can actually speak. Back then, I didn't know how to speak to a camera all that well. Speaking of, if you want to see a riot, something funny, really cringeworthy stuff, and I've left it up there just for transparency purposes, go to my video archive. And, at the top, it'll have latest, popular, and oldest. Go to oldest, click oldest, and go, I think it's 4 videos down. It should say biased news or something like that. It's the very first one. Yeah. It's terrible, by the way. It's really horrible. But if you want to laugh at me, yeah, go watch that. It's nuts, y'all. It really, really is. But it's just funny that he worms his way out from answering that question. And he does it again by total misdirection. I've got another clip to show you guys. Check this one out.
How many informants do you have in Catholic churches across America?
I don't know, and I don't believe we have any informants aimed at Catholic churches.
Okay, so the question was, as you heard, how many informants do you have in the Catholic Church? And what does he say? I don't think we have any informants aimed at the Catholic Church. Oh, well, why would you aim any informants at a church? Like, that statement didn't make any sense. That is how he can get out from underneath saying, yes, as a matter of fact, we have several informants in the Catholic diocese. As a matter of fact, that's how he can get out from underneath. Oh, we don't have any informants aimed at them. Like, that statement made no logical sense. How do you aim an informant at a church, and for what purpose? What purpose would the informant, what are they going to do, snitch on the building? Like, come on, let's think about these things. I wish Hawley would have picked up on that, because aiming a person at a church doesn't mean anything. How many informants do you have working in, going after people within the church, Merrick Garland? Well, come to find out, not too many. But some, it's not zero. That's the shocking part of it. It wasn't zero, come to find out. Yeah, we found that out much, much, much later. But I know this is all very fascinating. I love going over these older clips like this because the Biden administration was just really bad, y'all. Really, really bad. Just violating the Constitution all over the place. And at this current time, they were heavily silencing voices online. We didn't even know it. Man, we kind of knew it because people were getting banned off social media just by the droves. And it just so happened to be only conservatives for some reason. I mean, sure, leftists were getting banned as well. But, the numbers just, there was a stark difference. We'll put it that way. Stark difference. And, the conservatives were getting banned for no apparent reason. For sharing a news article. Oh, you want to share a news article? Banned. Boom. The leftists, they were getting banned for violating the content, the guidelines or whatever. Conservatives were getting banned for speech, as a matter of fact. Yeah, kind of violating their First Amendment rights right there. But, it is what it is. That kind of sums up the Biden administration. Just don't care about the Constitution. We're going to do what we want. That was an authoritarian regime if I've ever seen one in a free society, right? How do you operate as an authoritarian in a free society? You do what you want, folks. You go arrest who you want without any worry about the consequences, whatever it may be. What are the ramifications of doing this? They didn't care at all. They just went and did whatever the hell they wanted to do. It was very fascinating to watch unfold, and it was a scary time to be in the United States if you were a conservative. If you were a liberal, that's a different story, but, it is what it is. I think I've rambled on for long enough. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video with your friends, anybody and everybody that you know. And, hey, look. Sign up, become a member. That's the biggest way to help this channel expand and prosper, y'all. So y'all do all that. Y'all remember. Y'all gotta remember this, that God is always with us. Always with us. And He loves each and every one of you out there. Even if you do not know Him. He knows you. That is for sure. But y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.